I have a little strap here. I have it actually on both sides. It's called I call it a night latch for the Western. On a dressage saddle, we call it a grab strap, but I learned to call it a night latch. And so what I'll do if I'm on a young horse and I'm worried that they're gonna do something is I'll hook my hand under this strap and kind of pull myself into the saddle. So hello everyone, today's video is can you ride dressage in a Western saddle? In today's video, I'm going to give you some tips if you ride in a Western saddle or a hunt saddle or pretty much whatever kind of saddle you ride in. It doesn't really matter. I think that dressage helps every single horse and every single rider, regardless of your discipline. So obviously today I'm in my Western saddle. Believe it or not, I used to ride in a Western saddle all the time, and I still put all my young horses in a Western saddle to start them out because it just gives me a little bit more security. So a couple of things is that when I get in my Western saddle, what you'll notice is that I have the same alignment from my ear, shoulder, hip, heel. So regardless of what type of saddle you're in, you always want to have this alignment, ear, shoulder, hip, heel. That puts you in neutral spine, which allows you to absorb the motion of the horse. I do have, these are called Makati reins. So if you see on this side how there's two reins, this is a lead rope so that I could get off and like lead my horse or do some groundwork if I was on the trail or if I needed to. And I hold my reins the same as I do in dressage. Sometimes I'll put a coil in my rope in my outside hand. But when I ride in Western, I basically ride my horses the same as I do for dressage. I can ask them to go on the contact. I use my legs more or less the same. So I'm just going to go ahead and walk Jacques forward here. And again, you can see how it's the same positioning. So I have that straight line, ear, shoulder, hip, heel. I have a nice straight line from elbow to his mouth. I have one rein in each hand. Like more advanced Western horses will sometimes do one-handed. If you need a rope or something, then you can ride one-handed. I'm just gonna go ahead here and pick up the trot. And again, my point being here is that regardless of what saddle you're in, it's the same principles. So I'm thinking about establishing a steady tempo and a steady contact. In general, in Western, I find that it's harder to sit the trot in the Western saddle. So I tend to stay mostly in rising trot in the Western saddle because the Western saddle doesn't have as much shock absorption as the dressage saddle does. So in general, I stay more in the posting trot in the Western saddle, but I'm thinking about keeping my proper alignment, keeping my lower leg underneath of me, and same thing if I go up to the canter, ride a little half halt, ask for the canter. I will say I feel like in the canter I move a bit more in the saddle compared to in my dressage saddle. So in the canter I feel like I slide more from the back to the front of the saddle, and I'm just a little bit looser overall. I find it a little harder not to bounce. Like I can feel my butt kind of slapping a bit more in the saddle, in this Western saddle as opposed to in my dressage saddle. But what I like about the Western saddles, like I said before, is that they give you a little bit more support and freedom. So the reason, good boy Jacques, the reason that I start all my young horses in the Western saddle, a couple of reasons. One is that the saddle's quite a bit bigger, and so it actually spreads the weight out more across your horse's back, which can be a good thing on a young horse just to distribute the weight a bit more. The other reason that I like to ride and start my young horses in the Western saddle is because of this. So I can get off and do groundwork if I need to. And then the third reason is I have a little strap here. I have it actually on both sides. It's called I call it a night latch for the Western. On a dressage saddle, we call it a grab strap, but I learned to call it a night latch. And so what I'll do if I'm on a young horse and I'm worried that they're gonna do something, is I'll hook my hand under this strap and kind of pull myself into the saddle. So let me demonstrate that. I'm gonna hold on with my right hand because I feel a little bit more comfortable there. But if I'm like worried, or if I wanna just really let my horse go and not hold on to their face, a great thing to practice is I'll just get a hold of this night latch here. So I have, as I go past the camera, you can see how I have my right hand anchored on that strap. I actually don't hold on to the saddle horn because the saddle horn on the saddle is way too big and too high. So I have a hold of this night latch, and then I can just be a little more free and not hang on to my horse. But if my horse goes to do something, then I can pull on that and keep my butt in the saddle. So let me actually go up to a little canter. So like if I want to canter and I just want to practice on my balance and not worry too much about the contact, I have a hold of this night latch so that if my horse goes to do something, I can really just use that rather than pulling on my horse's mouth. Good boy, Jacques. Good boy. But you can see, you know, I really don't care what kind of saddle you ride in. And let me know in the comments what kind of saddle you ride in. You know, I get that all the time, like, is it okay? I ride in a Western saddle, I ride in a hunt seat saddle, I ride bareback. It doesn't really matter what kind of saddle you ride in. Good riding is good riding. And I really believe that. I started out as a dressage rider, then I had a horse who was really difficult and he had a rearing issue. I went to Western and learned natural horsemanship and roping and reining and all kinds of stuff, and then I converted back into dressage. But the basic principles are the same. It's all about, regardless of your discipline, you need to be able to go, stop, turn, have your horse listening and relaxed. And that's what I love about dressage and the beauty of dressage. So hello to all you Western dressage people out there. I love it. I love to see your photos of you in the Western saddle, and to me, it doesn't matter. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Also, make sure to click and subscribe to my channel because I post a new training video every single Wednesday, and I want to have you part of the channel. So thanks for watching.